We entered the city of Rome with the hope of seeing the historic city center and the properties of the Holy See, not just the Vatican, but also many of the smaller properties that are lesser known. And we hope to share what we find with everyone here. Enjoy. Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Rome.
Chelsea in Rome. So we're here in the center of Rome, in the what's called the historic center of Rome, exploring the Roman Empire, and we've been traveling around the former Roman Empire for quite some time. I guess we began our trip in that area probably in Bristol and Birmingham area. Was all part of the empire at one point, and we've been exploring different spots as we made our way south. So we wanted to explore the center of the former empire, and that includes the historic center of Rome, which was originally a city-state. And then we're just going to see basically, the grandeur of that former empire, since we've explored a few spots along the way in them. So let's see what we can find as we walk the streets of Rome. We began our exploring of the city at some of the more famous sites like the Colosseum and here the Roman Forums, both of which are pretty much next to each other, right in the heart of Rome. So the Roman civilization lasted about 1,000 years, from 753 BCE to 476 CE. So there's obviously a huge amount of history here that we're not going to dive into. We just wanted to kind of get a feel for the grandeur of the empire that used to be the Roman civilization. But we also wanted to explore the Vatican and the Holy See. And we found it so interesting that as a World Heritage Site, the Vatican wasn't just one location, but a group of locations. Depending on how you break it down, somewhere between 13 and 18 of them, scattered around the city. So we wanted to explore this and find out more about the Vatican. So that was going to be our focus. But first, we definitely wanted to take a look at some of the Roman history. For instance, the Pantheon that we see here, with the world's largest unsupported concrete dome. It's just amazing. And even though this wasn't the focus of our trip, these sites were just wonderful to see, like the Trevi Fountain, which is extremely popular. But if you're willing to brave the crowds, it's definitely worth taking a look. And maybe even throwing a coin in and making a wish, which is the custom. Well, after exploring the historic city center of Rome, we made our way to the first and largest part of the Vatican. And although one of the world's largest places of worship, entering it was hardly a spiritual experience.
50 people are trying to find in line.
Yes.
There's someone's a tour operator, I think.
Yes.
Who thinks that it's okay because they have a flag.
Yep.
So there's creating a bit of chaos now.
Yes, because it's 9 o'clock.
And the people who've been waiting in line for an hour don't want to come.
Yes. So police is there now.
Trying to get this tour in line.
Yes. No. Okay.
Post-chaos.
Yes.
So the police have moved the 50 people who are trying to jump in the line out of the line. So,
Yes, there is a gentleman. Like what happened is there is a gentleman who is bringing a tour which is with 50 people, try to jump the line.
Essentially, yeah. And
Yes.
then hundreds of people who were sitting there for an hour said, I don't think so.
Yes.
So the police eventually had to get involved and push them away.
Yes.
The gentleman in the orange behind us was very good because he
Yeah,
said
orange, yes.
all the things I wanted to say.
We can see it here now.
Yeah, he said all the things I wanted to say, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. So
Yes.
very good, very good.
Yeah, so he is
Big thanks to him.
he is the hero.
Yeah.
Hero of the day.
Yeah.
The person in orange jacket. Okay.
Very good.
Yes.
After the chaos of forming a line was solved, the line began to move, and everyone was able to make their way into the city. It's worth noting this was the last Sunday of the month, and admission was free. This may have contributed to some of the crowding. Despite the large crowds, we were committed to seeing Vatican City. So we braved the crowds and carried on, exploring inside Vatican City. There's definitely lots and lots to see here. We're not going to go into it too much. We just made our way through Vatican City until we eventually had an opportunity to see the Sistine Chapel, which is one of the highlights of such a trip. You can't take photos in there. This is not the Sistine Chapel here, but one of the many corridors and rooms before you enter that chapel. But we explored the area and eventually made our way outside to St. Peter's Square, where we could get a look at the facade of St. Peter's Basilica. And as wonderful as these places are, they're extremely popular and with lots of crowds. So we wanted to find something a little more obscure, I guess, with a few less crowds. So we made our way to Basilica of St. Mary's Major, where it is believed that fragments of the Holy Crib of the Nativity of Jesus Christ is kept. This is a fascinating place, and if you find yourself in this basilica and choose to go down to the crib, which is just below the main altar, you can see the crib, or the wooden fragments, from over 2,000 years ago at the birth of Christ. I found this really difficult to wrap my head around, but definitely a special place, and hopefully I understood everything I saw correctly. But I just thought I'd share what we experienced. After our experience at St. Mary's Major, we went on to find a few more sites associated with the Holy See, such as the Palace of Calixtus, the famous water fountain out front, and the nearby church. We also went on to see the Palace of the Chancellery, which was surrounded by all kinds of interesting shops. So we explored those, did a little window shopping, so to speak, as we have seen many of these items in religious sites we visited, but we have never seen them presented in this format in a store setting. Then we carried on to another monument, this one a little bit different, starting with an Egyptian obelisk located in the plaza next to another Holy See site. Also at this site, you could find Lateran baptistry, which is definitely worth taking a look inside.
All right, we've continued to explore, and we've been chipping away at the different sections of the center of Rome's historic area, World Heritage Site, and we find ourselves in another hidden gem here. You can see it in the background. It's very nice. We've been exploring this area. I'm not even going to say where it is. It's just in the center of Rome somewhere. The reason for that is this crowd. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. But there's, it's a very beautiful area. And we're going to see if we can look inside this particular building, but we were just in a few other very nice buildings that are all part
Look at the sculpture.
of the historic center. Yeah, but look at the sculptures alone are worth the walk over here.
We were able to get into the basilica that was behind us, and to be nice, we'll share the name. Please, I already apologize for my pronunciation here, but it is Basilica di San Giovanni in Laterano. I'm sure I didn't do a very good job of that pronunciation, but hopefully that will provide you with information that will be useful for finding this wonderful place, so you can come and explore it. There is no mission or anything. There's a small security check, and onwards you can go inside. And if this basilica wasn't amazing enough, just across the street, one could find the Pontifical Sanctuary of the Holy Stairs. This is a very unique holy site associated with the Holy See. After a good night's rest, we were up for one more adventure in the city of Rome, and that was to go see Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. And it did not disappoint. This is definitely a place to go check out. Although it is further from the main area of the city, it definitely is worth the extra commuting. We highly recommend catching the metro and make your way over to this site. This was our 10th Holy See site that we had visited, which was quite amazing as we learned so much, having originally only thought there was Vatican City. But when we looked into the World Heritage Site some more, we found out that not only was the World Heritage Site for the historic center of Rome, but it also included all these extraterritorial sites associated with the Holy See. Unlike Vatican City, these sites aren't countries separate from Italy, but are more like treated like embassies, where they have special privileges associated with the Holy See. We understood it was they're part of Italy, but governed by the rules of the Vatican. Maybe that's an oversimplification, but it kind of gives you an idea of how these Holy See sites are administered. As we continue to explore the Basilica of St. Paul's outside the walls, a few interesting things came to mind. One is the name refers to outside the walls of the Roman city. Also, along the walls of the basilica, you can see all these portraits. These are all the former popes. And you can also see, if you look closely, one that is lit up more than the rest. This is the current pope. This basilica is definitely a quiet place to explore and reflect in. Highly recommend taking the time to come here and just quietly take in everything.
Okay, last site
Bye-bye.
for the Vatican, our World Heritage Site. And thoughts, Kelly? What do you think of this?
Yeah, this is a second impressive.
Second impressive? Second most impressive.
Most impressive.
Yeah.
Second most impressive basilica
Yes, I agree.
in this trip.
Yeah, it was very epic and very, even the courtyard, just walking around. Maybe we got lucky because we got a really sunny day, we got nice warm weather, and the lighting was just perfect.
Yeah.
Shining in through the stained glass windows. You couldn't ask for better. There's not a huge crowd, it's just downright pleasant. So,
But inside is also
spectacular, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so basically, there was no mission or anything. We just were able to walk in and that, of course, being respectful and all this kind of thing, and security's here if you need to check. But generally pretty relaxed, and just a massive basilica. Like the space in there for the amount of people who come to a mass here is just incredible. So,
And there is no lineup. This is
no
the
line
main
up,
point.
No,
Unlike
there might be 50 people in total in the whole building. Like, it's very relaxed.
Unlike other spot, like famous spot,
Yes.
there is a
And
huge lineup.
so long as you're respectful and just, quiet, so that, because people are praying and people are doing their worshiping, so you need to be respectful of that. So, but besides that, it's basically, you're allowed to wander around freely and enjoy. And definitely interesting. So the name, Kelly, is
Basilica of Saint Paulo.
outside the walls. I mean, no? I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
San Polo.
yes, we're horrible with names, but
It is actually very close to the metro station.
Yes.
It is the same name as Basilica San Polo.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
And also, just a little historical piece. The building did burn down 200 years ago, but the history dates way beyond that. Like it's been rebuilt, obviously, and but the history dates back. There's artifacts in here from like the 14th century, and there's just a lot of history. There's also an excavation going on right next to the building for historical village. So there's a lot of things going on here, but definitely a great place to visit. And
And there is a tomb inside as well.
a tomb, yes. There's
Tomb,
a tomb
yeah.
of St. Paul
Yeah,
here as well, which is
And there is a
very
chain.
significant. And the chain from St.
with
Paul's.
light rings.
Yes, represent from his,
Yeah,
I guess when he was captive
yeah, as a prison.
as a prisoner. So, yeah, lots of significance, lots of important things here. So, yeah, I would highly recommend it. Definitely a great visit. We were briefly contemplating not making it out here because it is a little further away from the rest of the sites, but definitely worth the commute out. So
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
So this is our last
Last of the
spot.
yes, for the Vatican.
Yeah.
Related
Rome, too.
Vatican and Rome.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take a break because we got a lot of walking in.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a great tour of Rome the last few days, and we've really enjoyed it. So
I think we have visited most of the Vatican sites.
yes, most of the 18 or so
Holy See
Holy See sites
site.
that
Yeah.
are part of the World Heritage Site.
Yeah.
And some really nice surprises out there.
Yeah.
Just hidden gems in the city of Rome.
Yeah.
So for now, I guess our next stop is Naples.
Yes.
So we got a little bit of a train ride and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so off we wander. And we've got ourselves some stairs. Good times. Let's keep enjoying.